Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another podcast moment with Jay Works, the host with the most. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a great show for you tonight, a full sports cast for you, and some more promotional news for our PD Code, the clothing line. So we're going to turn it up. We're going to turn it up very well. We're going to turn it up. We're going to keep it vocal for you folks. Live and entertainment, as well as letting you know the goods. How's your day going, folks? I hope it's going well and it's a good Sunday. I hope your team is playing well. And I hope you're feeling good. I hope you're feeling real good, folks. I need my engineer to come in here, baby. Yes. I'm going to stand up, folks. Hope you get to see what we got on today. So what are we doing here, folks? We are starting to put a lot of PD code and things that we're doing as far as the clothing line together. And we trying to keep you folks in tune to what are we doing in the market and what are we doing for you folks to get it. We are definitely in tune to having you guys be a part of PD Code and what we do here. What we do, we're trying to bring you awareness on the best clothing line in the nation, one of the best podcasts in the nation. And we can't do that if we don't let you guys know. So this is PD Code. This is one of the vintage outfits. You can order it online at shopify.com. JWorks at PD Code. PDCode.com at Shopify. And the website will be up at pdcodeclothingandapparel.com. You can go shopping on your nice clothes garment, t-shirt, sweater, sweatsuits, mark neck, turtleneck, socks, hat, dad hat, scully hat, all those above the PD Code. We bring you the finest things of our nature that you love to see. I like modeling these clothing lines. Besides that, we got a great topic for you tonight. It's about mental illness and suicide. It's a big thing in America. It's something we can't overlook. And it's something that's big to me. Mental illness carry a barrier in a lot of our lives today. And no matter who you are and no matter what color or creed, mental illness and suicide has no racism or no prejudice. So that's going to be one of the greatest topics. But besides that, we're going to get in, dig into the sports. And what else after that? All right, folks, let's go. Like I said, I'm the host, Jay Works. And to carry it over to this great podcast, I'm here to bring you everything with the choices and all the movements and all the ideas and news is trending today. So let's get it started, folks. Listen, in sports today, the Giants lost against New Orleans Saints. The Buffalo Bills got beat by the Browns. The Atlanta Falcons got beat 7-9. Carolina Panthers. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, beat Green Bay 34-20. And the Jets lost to the Miami Dolphins 30-0. Wow. Post that one up. Washington Commanders at this point is losing 27-28 to the Rams in the fourth quarter, top of the fourth quarter. And the Dallas Cowboys are losing to the Buffalo Bills 3-24. You know, with Dallas, every time it comes up to play a great team or a playoff team per se, they don't show up. That's my team, but I don't like the skills on that one. Yes, hopefully they come back. And the Ravens and Jaguars are later tonight, 8:20, prime time. Ravens and Jacksonville Jaguars. And tomorrow night, the Eagles against the Seattle Seahawks. And other sports news, okay, yes, the Vikings 24-27 loss against the Bengals, Steelers 13-30 against Indianapolis Colts, and the Denver Broncos lost against the Lions. This past was yesterday or either yesterday or Thursday, 17-42, and the Giants got beat by the Saints. We already said that. Okay, folks, that's your sporting news. Okay, news that's trending. This situation in Chicago is pretty bad, folks. We've been reporting on the last several weeks of what's going on in Chicago and the news there. I was streaming online and scrolling through. I see these folks are starting to protest in every area that immigrants have been busted in housing. They're voicing their opinion, and they're voicing it real loud, folks. They said, hey, if you're giving away $9,000 a month, plus healthcare, plus jobs, plus great schools, and all the other essentials you need to have to live in a society, and you're not giving it to people who's born and raised there, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. And they are blaming the Democratic Party of Illinois. They saying you guys ain't never stepped up. You don't plan to step up for us. If we are voters in your city, voters in your city, we don't voted you in, we can vote you out. And they talking real good stuff. They want Republicans to come to the table to deal. And these are people in Chicago, Illinois, in the city of Chicago. They are voicing their opinion on every which way but loose with these immigrants being busted in their city and across the state borders and lines in the United States. You're proving Donald Trump right, folks. You're proving him right. Donald Trump was like, build that wall. Stevie Joe was like, nah, I wouldn't do that. Now he's saying, let's build that. Don't come over that wall. Don't come near the borders. Now, the Democrats are saying it. Folks, this is real news. This is not fake news that's coming out of Chicago. This is dear to people's hearts and minds and souls. They feel like they've been disgraced. They've been disrespected. They've been not heard on. All they've been doing is bull from a regime that don't care about them or their family, their kids. So, news of the day. Okay, folks, let's get to the topic. Topic of the day is mental illness a part of you being suicidal or want to commit suicide? Folks, mental illness is big in our country today, in our homes, in our backyards, friends and families, white community, black community, Hispanic community, as well as any other community that you can name of. It's huge. Mental illness plays a part in a lot of our homes today in America. Every time you look around, there's somebody talking about mental illness. Mental illness, it plagues us. It's sort of a thing that we can't seem to get over the hump. And that note, we need to find out every which way that we could get help from local and state reps in America or in your city. I'm in New York State. There's places. There's people you could talk to. You could talk to someone else that you don't know, who's willing to help, who's willing to listen. It starts, the number one thing in the world that mental illness starts with us getting help is by talking to someone and someone listening to you. These are the better things that it does that you can start with mental illness trying to get help. Because, folks, I would not be the one to say it's fake. I would not be the one to say you don't need help. We all need help when it comes down to mental illness. If someone in our family is heavily disturbed by it, who needs help, don't talk about it, don't want to talk about it, is not willing to talk about it, and we know it's bothering them, and we don't do a damn thing about it. And I say us as a people, we don't. So that's what carried us into being wrong, into all the situations in hand. You have a caller, ladies and gentlemen. Hello?
Hello.
Hey, if that ain't my co-host, Kristen Bouchard. Hey, Kristen.
How are you?
I am doing wonderful. We have a wonderful topic. And I'm glad you can join us. We have a lot of statistics to get to. How do you feel about mental illness as it affecting homes in the United States as well as our home as well?
Well, I feel it's a serious topic. I feel it's a serious issue within homes. It affects many people of all different ages. It affects homes, all different types of homes. The rich, the poor, So, yeah. It's one of those things that is, I think it's unpredictable. We
Right.
never know who's gonna have a mental illness.
Or a mental breakdown, per se. A mental breakdown.
Yeah.
Actually, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. This is our co-host, Kristen Bouchard, who's I'm happy to have her on the phone with us tonight for this great topic. I searched up statistics, and it's overwhelming. It's facts that you can all look up. It says since the year 2021, men have died by suicide 3.90% times more than a woman on the average basis of 132 suicide per day. White men accounted for 69.68% of suicide deaths in America since 2021. Firearms accountable for 54.64% of suicide deaths. That's crazy. That's an alarming rate of suicide deaths connected to mental illness. And just to say that, it's just sad with a lot of us that who knows about it, who has people who's affected by mental illness and alternately commit suicide. I think it's a challenge for families on all levels to not be afraid to go out and get help for that loved one, and hopefully they see the end to not ending themselves, to get help. The end game will be getting help. They're talking about it. To be a spokesperson, because mental illness is affect in a lot of different ways. I have a friend who has a 12-year-old who's went through a lot and sometimes shut down. Two of my children in that phase. My 21-year-old about 2-3 years ago in high school, he made a post. End of the day, he said it wasn't something he would do, but he made a post that relationship's not for him. It's not fair. He didn't want to be in them. And it didn't affect him talking about it, but it affected everybody around. And I had that conversation with him. He said that's not him. He didn't mean it that way, but I told him, I said, listen here, you hurting yourself, you hurting us. You hurting people around you. You hurting folks around you, you hurting your friends and family, and most of all, you hurting the people who loves you the most dearly. And he interrupted me more than one time, Dad, that's not me. That's not something I did. It was just something I was just speaking on the internet. I said, son, don't do that. Because people who love you, excuse me, folks, you guys in the crowd, can you calm down so I can? Yeah. So, and I tell them that, like, hey, if anything, is bothering you, come talk to me. Or seek someone else's conversation. Because that's the conversation we all need to have. Because that same conversation could end into a lot of different things. And results can be somebody could be hurt themselves in ways that we all don't want to imagine. So you have to be aware of who's around you and what they're going through. You have to be. You have to know the tensions that builds up in a person who has mental illness or the person who's looking at ending it. I just went home recently. I got a phone call from one of my children, my older kids, and it didn't sound right. Hopped on a plane ASAP. Hopped on a plane. Because when folks tell you they're tired, you don't know what they're talking about. And you ask them tired, and you know I'm tired is, I ain't getting no sleep. But it's tired, I can't do it no more. That's one of the worst things in the world when you hear that. Coming from a loved one or someone you love, you want to go and give them a hug. You want to go have a good night. You want to go party. You want to get that out their mind. You want to tell them, hey, you'll kill me if you do that. What can I do? You want to be the source of the problem and the source of the solution. You want to get them off all of that talk. Or she. The numbers are alarming. In America, the highest states, Wyoming, 32.3%. Montana, 32%. Alaska, 30.8%. New Mexico, 25% out of 100 suicide. That's unbelievable. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4 ranked in America on suicide in the United States, Wikipedia. Folks, you can look this stuff up. The numbers are alarming. The majority of the numbers are in your own backyard or in your home. And a lot of this I really blame on folks not getting help from day one. Folks not getting help from day one. That's what I blame. Parents, grandparents. But not blame them, but not seek it because they not know. So when it boils down to it, you have a child with mental illness because you had it. Dig down and deep inside of you. Your child raised up with it. It gave him Ritalin. He ADHD. He this and that. Then he has a baby. His baby a little different. He gets medicine. He has a baby. It goes and goes and goes. To a certain degree, somebody hurts somebody. Or somebody gets hurt. Now we want to talk about it. Now we want to get help after somebody get life in jail. Or somebody dead. It starts here. It starts now with us having conversations with our kids, our loved ones. It's a lot of red flags. And I have seen a lot in my day, in my homes, friends' homes, colleagues, family members, wife, kids. Red flags them up. A person who's mentally challenged or dealing with trying to be mentally stable, it's an issue. Matter of fact, it's not an issue, it's a problem. And it's all of our problem. Especially when you're trying to be elusive and deal. And it's something a lot of us don't talk about. Don't have the wherewithal to even speak on. Can't even tell you, hey, I know what you're going through. Hey, how you doing today? Me and you had a combo today. if you don't mind me speaking.
Mm-hmm.
We had a convo yesterday, actually. Like, what's wrong? You said to me, no. They try to get out of you. And that's what friends are for. Hold up. No, it's something wrong. Let's go. Now, let's go. What's up? That's not you. In the norm, headaches, menstrual cycle, bills. We know our folks. We know our friends. We know our loved ones. But when a loved one is in a stare-off and don't want to be bothered and they're the life of the party, it's a problem. And God, well, America, we need to stand on top of that. I don't care how much nerve wracking it is. Get away from me. I don't want to talk. No. They ain't a friend who, okay, you said get away. You said get away. I didn't say nothing. A lot of those shootouts, well, not shootouts, those shootings, correct me, part south, it's from people with mental illness. Those shootings in them schools, the shootings in the malls, what have you, it's been because of mental illness. And a lot of us is at fault because we see red flags and we don't even take advantage of it. Hey, listen, let me talk to you. Or he need help. He need to get medicine for that. I tell you, the most hurting thing was the shooting at the Buffalo, the top shooting. And all my prayers and thoughts go out to the families that it was affected. A girl who worked with me, known her real good, known her well. Hung out several times, met her children. Her dad did 20 years in the jail she watched in Auburn. She lived next door to him. Came home, changing his life. Just happened to be in goddamn tops. And all the years he did in that damn prison, Auburn State Penitentiary. He goes in tops to shop and gets brutally murdered. This kid ain't been the same. And I didn't know it was her dad. I know her. She was just in jail out there. Baby father did some crazy stuff, whatever. She had issues. And came home, changed her life together. And I ain't seen her. Hair done grew and, good friend. She happened to be visiting a neighbor. I'm looking like, I know this face. But she was gone. Because that was her dad. And so in the months to come, it was on the news recently that they would stay suing and everything. And it was revisiting the families. And she in the club with me. And it was her dad. She started crying. So everybody, what's wrong with her? She's on my shoulder. That's my dad ain't talking about, Jay. Bald head, full beard like mine. People died in that shooting. Left out home that day. Wanted to go shop. Wanted to cook Sunday dinner. Wanted to go get some things they need for the house. Everybody there was over 35. The average age was over 35. It was 3-4 people over 50. I saw the video on my phone. He murdered them. In cold blood. And he had no reactions. It was stories leading up. Red flags we talking about. He cased out tops. That Thursday, a homeless guy be out there, had a convo with him and one of the managers. And the black guy was like, yo, the kid sound cool. A little weird, but he conversate good. His mouthpiece was swell. He asked the right questions. And that Friday night, when they told him to get up out of here, trench coat, they reported it, nobody seen anything. Nobody seen it, think that was a red flag. Excuse me. And look what he did the next day. Mental illness. And I'm not offending none of these clowns. If it was up to me, it'd be a different story for everybody who didn't go to sleep that day with the people who they killed. But mental illness played a part in a lot of these shootings. And nobody seemed to know. No one. And for say, honey, I go through it every day in my home. I done had things my spouse said to me. Keep your eye on the prize. Family members, I look at one way. Watch them. Watch him. He grew up with them. Yeah. And I think I'm touched in some type of way. Mentally. I just keep it together. I figure a lot of things in my life is wrong and right. I'm not going to play with fire. I'm not going out to harm nobody because nobody harming my babies. That's how I feel at this point in my life. But I think majority of the stuff we're talking about today is red flags we don't pay attention to. Is it come to a point in our life, you can't be selfish all the time, folks. You can't have a blind eye. You can't. You can't have a blind eye with situational things like mental illness. It's eating our people away, especially Black and brown community. My home daily is turned upside down. Good days and bad days. So tell me, who can I blame? I guess what I'm saying today, folks, is mental illness. It's a sickness. We all need to be aware, learn more, educate yourself more, and really seek for who is developing issues in the home of mental illness so you can get them help, get them to the right individuals. You could talk to them more, do one-on-one things with them to have more of a conversation with these children or adults or friends or family. I really believe in that. Do you have any other thing you want to say on this before I put the cap on this?
I have more like a question. For someone that's suicidal, and they attempt to commit, the act, and then they get mad, when people call for help, and they say things like, why'd you call for help, blah, 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 and then you're like, well, because you attempted suicide. And then they go on to deny the fact that they were going to, do that. I don't know if this is a question, but more of a confusion for me. Do they really mean to try to commit, you think, or I don't know what that is. Like,
well, let me if I could chime in if I may.
Yeah.
I was always told, and I always seen, when a person's gonna commit a suicide act or bodily harm to themselves, they are not gonna tell you. Majority of the cases now. I'm not saying they do when they don't. But majority of the cases that stay known, in fact, they ain't telling you. From our community and above and beyond. Now, Proven fact is a lot of cases it's red flags. And for your question is when a person when family members seek help or call for help for that individual, they get mad because they not knowing what they was about to commit. Yeah, they talking and they associate to what they doing and they aware. They not knowing because they don't know how to reach out for help. It's embarrassing. It's you crazy. It's you retarded. You got problems. So they don't say. A lot of folks don't say. A lot of folks can't say. They don't know how to describe it. Say this, I need help. I don't like people. People scare me. They're talking about me. Something in my mind is telling me to do something to you. They don't. Their first challenge is, if I'm doing it, I'm lashing out because I'm telling. I'm trying to find out. Trying to seek help. And those are red flags that we need to be aware of, emotionally aware of, physically aware of. Because a lot of that is selfishness in people who don't have it, who don't give a wherewithal. So when someone gets mad because, honey, you look over that. Because I'm rather you mad than you crying. Because they done committed the ultimate act. Either harming themselves or harming someone else. And we can't take those back. There's no sorries for that. It's more harsh than hurt. I'm going to tell you something I tell a lot of folks. Right now, if I attempt to cut my arm, cut my wrist, right? If I attempt to, and I succeed, we all know it's going to be a scar here, right? Am I for saving, right? Mm-hmm. We all know it's going to be a scar here. And we all know at some point that scar is going to heal, right? Scab, heal up. Mm-hmm. But the mental part of me cutting myself in front of you or you guys is the part that attacks us more than anything. And every which way, why did he do that? He did it. You're going to be 20, 30 years because it's mental. Why? The understanding is why someone project bodily harm on anyone. That's projective in the mind we have not get or led to understand until we cut it open. Mm-hmm. And we call it PSD. Or we call it other things they want to be in nature of. This is what the red flags do for you. Is get you what you just said. Rebuttals of a person who's been called on. Or not let me use call on. Call on ain't the word. Person who's someone tried to get help. Somebody got help to. Mm-hmm. That's what you get. That's gratitude. To me, that's gratitude and ability and stable ability that you cannot get by saving a life. You saved his life, her life. It's not a time to drill on, I'm a rat, I'm a snitch, I'm this, I'm that. When it comes to that, suicide or attempt to bodily harm. It's not a rat moment. It's I saved a life. It was I was aware, and he actually physically told someone or showed someone or made a physically account to do something in a bodily harm fashion away. And that's not a peeve moment for you. That's not a down moment. That's not a, wow, I shouldn't have did that. His business is out there. No, you a mandated worker. By position of New York State, by OSHA guidelines, you are permitted to report anything that seems unnormal, something you can't bear, in a red flag. You saved a life. That's something none of us have the balls to do. Literally. Again, I'm talking cultural. Black folk ain't doing that one. Some will. But white folks, they calling on Baba Jean. They calling on Little Chrissy. Little Montgomery. They calling. And Little Montgomery took 6 pills to school with him. I don't know. But I work for Underdog County, and I need to call and make sure you check on his parents. Where he live at? Such and such Stevens Road. The blue house with the tin up with the lights. They blink off and on. That might be a sign. They call it. Black folk, man, that nigga high, man. He high. Little Cuddy bugged out, man. He tripping. Look at him. Yeah. Run the mom, run the cuz, run the pookie nay. We tripped out on him. But somebody in the black community be like, y'all know that ain't right. Don't even laugh at that. We start shunning him, the person or the woman who says that ain't right. Culturally, black folk, why you go? That's that man business. Leave them people alone. He might get crazy on you, girl. Instead of one of us call, instead of listen to that lady, say, oh, no. Don't laugh at that boy. Call somebody. So cultural, black and brown, we don't call the man. We don't call Dr. Heavy. We don't call Bob Johnson in them. We wait until the Undertaker man get him till we say something. Literally. So culturally, we need to get off our keisters, our butts. Hey, I'm living next door to little Michael Brown. He been fixing his car every day, all day with no tools. Every time the car go forward, he lay up under it. Can somebody come check it out? That's it. Little boo-boo walk around with a bulge in his pants. It ain't what you think it is. I don't really know, but I see a handle. Can you please come out? I'm on 616 South Montgomery Road. Come check it out. I'm scared. I'm afraid for him and whoever else walk by. I'm telling you. Mental illness, it plays a factor on all of us, and we are guilty because we do not make that call. We are not. Oh, I'm not a mandate reporter. I don't work for. Or leave them alone. Mind your business. Cultural. And the ones that do, they get shunned. Mind your business. That's why people get killed. That's black folk. So again, folks, I'm going to wrap this up here. Great conversation. We got the best one on the line. Y'all know who she is. I don't got to say no name or introduction for this person. She's one of the best co-hosts in the United States of America. She's the co-host on my show, my podcast, and I'm glad to have her with me. Kristen Bouchard. And I'm Jay Works, the host with the most. Thank you, folks, for sharing another podcast moment with Street Savvy. Please, folks, the most important word of the show, Kristen, take us out.
Like, subscribe, and share.
Thank you, folks, and good night. And we will have a primetime show later. Thank you, Kristen.